Brad Williams, Excel Prime. 919, do not hard code values. Choosing the right strategy. We've talked about this in the past, and you'll hear from me probably repeatedly. Don't hard code. The reason being, and I'm going to be a hypocrite here because I hard code stuff all the time. Sometimes I have to. I don't regret it. There's some information that it's easier for me to hard code. So I'm not going to be this guy that, don't hard code this or don't hard code that. Look, do what works for you. Hard coding can create problems. Let me just give you an example of hard coding again. If we want to increase the wholesale amount, let's just type in wholesale. This is a wholesale price and we want the retail price. So we want to mark this up 45%. There's two ways to do it. We can add 1 to, let's say 45%. We want to mark this up 45%. We can do it two ways. We can go equals 13 times 0.45. And then we can add these together, equals this plus this. And that's 18.85. Or we can just go equals the wholesale price times parentheses 1 plus 0.45. Now, what's hard coded in here? The 4.5. Why? Well, what happens if you want to lower that? So let's just go with the uniform 45%. You can see that if I change this, control down, then you can see it's 4.5, control down. If this changes to, let's say, 35%, then I have to go manually and change these. Back to this formula here, 1 plus 0.45 does the same thing as adding the wholesale price plus 45 markup and then adding them together. So we're going to get rid of this step here. And then we're just going to cut this. What we're going to do, Control Z. This is hard coded. 4.5 is hard coded. The 1 is a constant. We can keep that there. The D5 is reference, but the 4.5 needs to change. Go to 0.045, highlight it, point and click to 0.45. So now we have D3. Now remember, 4.5 has to stay in this position. We need to put an absolute reference around this. And we hit F4. Why? Because we don't want it to move. We copy it down. Control T. And now we have this reference to a number that we can change. So let's go to 35. Voila, it just changes dynamically. That's the word, dynamic. You just enter a reference, you get an immediate recalculation. Here's one other thing I want to point out. What if you didn't want that to recalculate right then and there? Go back to formulas, go to calculation options, go to manual, change this back to 4.5, and it didn't recalculate. So hit F9 and it recalcs. So your preference, if you want this to recalc immediately, go to formulas, go to calculation options, go to automatic, change this to 4 to whatever you want, and it calculates immediately. Otherwise, you can hit F9 when you want. In terms of hard coding, use common sense. If hard coding works for you and you're working alone, then sometimes it's not an issue. If you're working with a team, it may make sense to use this technique. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. Thanks for watching.